Some leaders spend their time building a career, but others, they build a legacy. And they do it in the one place they've always called home. That's the story we're looking at today, the tenure of Dr. Jimmy Shaw in Florence, Alabama. This isn't just about a superintendent. It's about a man who was a product of the very system he would one day lead. So let's explore how a factory worker from Florence completely redefined leadership for his hometown. To really understand Dr. Shaw's approach to leadership, you have to start right here, with him as a kid. And this isn't just some old memory, it's the absolute bedrock of his entire philosophy. He saw firsthand how teachers and school staff can be a lifeline for a kid. It shaped his belief that a school's job is so much more than just teaching. It's to care, to notice when something's wrong, and to help hold a kid's world together. His path to the superintendent's office was, let's just say, not the usual one. Before he was Dr. Shaw, he actually spent 8 years working in a factory. It was during that time, working all day and then heading to college classes at night, that he realized his real calling wasn't climbing some corporate ladder. It was about building a better foundation for the kids right there in his own community. At first, the goal was simple. Be a teacher, be a coach, have that direct day-to-day impact. But then an administrative role opened his eyes to a totally different kind of influence. It was a light bulb moment. He realized he could empower all the people who empower students. And that one shift in thinking, from helping kids directly to helping the people who help kids, well, that would go on to define his entire career. So what exactly was this philosophy he landed on? Well, it wasn't just some management style he read about in a book. For him, it was a deeply held belief that he studied, wrote his dissertation on, and tried to live out every single day. What makes this definition so powerful is that it's pulled directly from his own doctoral dissertation. This wasn't just corporate jargon to him. The whole idea is to flip the traditional pyramid upside down. The leader's job isn't to be on top, giving orders, it's to be the foundation, supporting and serving the people who are actually on the front lines with the students. And this quote right here gets to the heart of it. It's just not enough to hire good people and tell them to work harder. A servant leader's real job is to build a system where those good people can actually win. So the focus totally shifts from pointing fingers at people to fixing the broken structures that are holding them back. He actually used this image in his presentations, and it's such a perfect metaphor. You can throw money at a problem, you can add a new program, another shiny object, but if the foundation of the house is cracked, you're really just decorating a collapse. The goal had to be deep, foundational change, not just slapping some paint on the cracks. So, how do you even start to do that? Well, you start with your people. It's that simple. The logic was, if you want to help every student reach their potential, you first have to create a culture where every teacher can do their absolute best work. And that meant investing in them, directly and intentionally. And this wasn't just lip service. He put real, concrete programs in place. Things like Impact 80, Advanced 12, and the Florency Leadership Coterie Network, or FLCN for short. These programs were all designed to do one thing: build up the staff, help them work together, and empower teachers and principals to become leaders in their own right. It was a serious investment in their people. So did that investment pay off? Just look at this. The results speak for themselves. Year after year, teachers from Florence were being recognized as some of the absolute best in the entire state, including a State Teacher of the Year. Come on, that doesn't happen by accident. That's what happens when you build a culture that's laser-focused on excellence. And here's the beautiful part. When you empower great teachers, they turn around and create incredible opportunities for their students. The focus then broadened to make sure that every single student, no matter their passion, no matter their plans after high school, had a clear path to a successful future. You want to see a real measure of that success? How about this number? Over $7.6 times million in scholarships awarded to a single graduating class. Think about that. That's not just a number. That's futures being built, doors being opened. It's life-changing. And these opportunities were so incredibly diverse. On one hand, you've got this amazing state award-winning apprenticeship program called Launch, connecting kids directly with local jobs. On the other hand, you have the Florence Academy of Fine Arts, offering more than 100 courses in everything from sculpture to 3D animation. It sends such a powerful message. We value your path, whatever it is. And at the end of the day, this is what it's all about. This quote from a student who went through one of those programs, it just says it all, doesn't it?
It's not just about getting a diploma or a scholarship. It's about giving kids the confidence to know they are truly on the path to the future they really want.
Okay, so the vision was clearly about more than just what happens inside the classroom. It was also about transforming the physical spaces where kids learn and about making the bond between the schools and the entire Florence community stronger than ever. I mean, you can literally see the legacy etched into the city's landscape. A brand new, award-winning, $35 million middle school, a new, secure administration building, major upgrades at Bradley Stadium. These aren't just buildings. They are permanent, tangible investments in the future of the entire community. And if you want a perfect example of that community spirit, look no further than this project. The AbleWorks Recreation Area wasn't just a school project, it was called a total community effort. Everyone came together to build this amazing inclusive playground for all students. That is servant leadership in action. You see a need and you empower the whole community to come together and meet it. All right, so after all of this, the philosophy, the focus on people, the new buildings, the community partnerships, how do you actually measure the impact of the Shaw years? What does the data really tell us? Let's just ask the question straight up. What really happens when you lead from the foundation? When you focus on creating a system where people are set up to succeed? Well, the results show a district that was consistently performing at a really high level. Now look, rankings can bounce around from year to year. You see that little dip in 2025. But the big picture is that Florence City Schools remained a top-tier district in Alabama throughout this whole period. It proves that a people-first approach delivers seriously competitive results. And then there's this. This is a big one. An A on the state report card. For anyone who knows education, that is a huge achievement. It's a clear, objective stamp of approval on the hard work that every single person in the district was putting in. But, maybe the truest measure of this whole era isn't a grade or a ranking at all, but something deeper. This quote, one that Dr. Shaw used often, it just brings everything back to the beginning. It's not just about the test scores, it's about the human impact. Because in the end, what this story really shows us is that a leader's legacy isn't just what got done while they were there. It's about the strength of the foundation they leave behind, a foundation built on care and empowerment, ready and waiting for the next generation to build something even greater.